Hey guys, welcome to the debut episode of FlashBack Wrestling presented by WrestlingExaminer.com. My name is Wesley Avendano. I'm being joined today by my brother and co-host Anthony Avendano. Anthony, say what's up to the listeners.
What's up, guys?
So I'm one of the writers here for Wrestling Examiner. I do a lot of the flashback articles. Well, they're not specifically flashback articles. We're just going to call them that now. But what I do on the articles is I take a look back at some of my favorite wrestlers from when I was a kid. And what we're going to do on the show is kind of the same thing. We're going to take a deeper look at some of the biggest moments, some of the biggest wrestlers, and just try to have fun with them. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to kick it off in a big way with Stone Cold Steve Austin. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So let's start it off. Obviously, Austin's career started off way before you and I were born. Well, let's not diss Stone Cold right now. He's not that old.
He's not that old.
Right? But anyways, it started a long time ago. And it was started outside of the WWF, actually. It started in WCW as Stunning Steve Austin. And then he was also part of the Hollywood Blondes. It's a not I won't say a forgotten part of his wrestling history. A lot of wrestling fans
definitely
know about it.
Overshadowed.
Yeah, it's definitely overshadowed by what happened afterwards. I had no recollection of that of Stunning Steve Austin. It happened during my lifespan. Obviously, I was born in '89, so he was already wrestling at that time, and he becomes Stunning Steve while I'm a child. But I personally have no recollection on it, so we're gonna kind of gloss over that right now. I know you don't have any recollection of it.
I don't remember that at all.
I honestly don't even remember when I found out about it. Honestly, it might have just come on, like, when you're a kid, you just think everything that happens is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just always that way.
Yeah.
Because you're a kid. So I just always thought he was always Stone Cold Steve Austin until that moment when I found out he wasn't. But anyways, let's get to the good part. Let's get to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Anthony, what's your first memory of Stone Cold Steve Austin?
I think the most memorable memory that I have of him is probably him coming down the stage with the beer truck and, pouring beer on everybody.
I think that's a super memorable moment, and that's a big one that everybody has. Mine is not obviously, but mine is the WrestleMania 13 I Quit match.
Oh yeah, what a
him
match,
and Bret
man.
Hart, man. That was one of the big
the double turn.
Yeah, the double turn, the best double turn ever, dude. I've honestly never seen one that even comes close. And like in modern day, the Del Rio when he turns, or the double turn with him and Dolph, that was pretty nice, but that wasn't like
it's not Bret and
Austin. Austin and Bret pulled the best double turn ever. But anyways, yeah, that's my first memory of him. The blood's coming down the face, the great match, dude. Austin used to have such great matches. Like, not to diss on Austin, but I mean, obviously after the neck injury and then after the years of the business beating down on him,
he slowed down after a little
while.
Yeah,
he slowed down a lot. But his early years, dude, man, Austin could go. Him and Bret Hart in that match, man. I wrote an article like a year ago, talking about like my It was called Dear WrestleMania, and it was like talking about my first experiences with WrestleMania. And WrestleMania 9 was the first WrestleMania I ever remember coming in contact with, the first one I have a memory of. But WrestleMania 13 is the one that really
stands out.
Yeah, it really sparked my love for wrestling, because after WrestleMania 13, I'm like a hardcore fan. From that point on, it's just like that's it. Wrestling was part of my life.
It captivated.
Yeah, it really captivated me, and it was that match. I love Bret Hart. I was always a Bret Hart fan.
Same.
WrestleMania 9. Yeah, full disclosure, guys. Bret Hart's my favorite wrestler. So this is an awesome episode for me, because this is one of Bret's biggest rivals. But man, watching Stone Cold and Bret Hart that night, just wow, it blew my mind. And like I said, it's crazy because I'm a big Bret Hart fan, and Austin's one of his big rivals, but
huge rival.
But I could never like bring myself to not like Austin. Austin was just badass of a fucking, you know what I'm saying, like of a heel and just that good of a performer that I just
they brought the best out of each other. That's what it was too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was great, dude. So let's transition out of that. What was your favorite Austin match?
I would have to say the one in 13 too, just because it's the one that's like in my head. That I always look back at it and I always rewatch it. That's the one Austin match that I always go back to. So I would say the one at 13.
Really?
Yeah.
The one at 13?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good match. I don't want to be too cliche. I mean, obviously I could go that too. That's a good one. I'm gonna go Austin Rock at 15.
Okay.
That was a big one for me, dude, because Austin, you know what I'm saying? Like Austin was on fire basically, and then The Rock was coming up too, and it was just really right at that peak for me of I was getting older and I was still loving it, and I was still kind of in kayfabe. You know what I'm saying? Like it was the late '90s. It was '99, I believe. So, you know what I'm saying? Like kayfabe was still, it was on life support, but it was still alive. And just, man, I just remember thinking like, dude, who's gonna win this one? It's Austin. It's The Rock. And that one was a huge one for me. Obviously, like I said, it's not my favorite. I'm cheating. My favorite is 13. You know what I'm saying?
That's the one.
That's the one. But I don't want to just, you know what I'm saying, keep going with the same one. So we're gonna go with 15 for me. I love that Austin match. What's your favorite Austin rival? Now you know what I'm saying, we're touching on that stuff like that. What's your favorite Austin rival?
It has to be Mr. McMahon, dude. I can't see any other rival than Mr. McMahon being, you know, his greatest rival of all time.
I mean, yeah, that's his greatest rival, but is he your personal favorite? Like, is that the feud that you were like, man? I know that's the one everybody thinks of because I
had the most fun watching him beat up Mr. McMahon. I'll say that. So for that reason alone, you know, it was my favorite. You know, having Vince come out every week, you know, talking his shit, and then Austin just coming out and beating him up. It's something that makes me smile every time I think about it.
It really was a revolutionary rivalry, dude. It really did turn business around, really. Because if you really think about it,
who doesn't want to punch their boss? You know,
right? Exactly. They struck that nerve, and they rode it all the way out. If you really think about it, that rivalry, it was so revolutionary. It had to be so revolutionary because it had to take down the NWO. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it was to take down the second most revolutionary thing that had happened in wrestling at the time. So yeah, I can see why you would say that, but man, I don't want to say Bret Hart because it wasn't long enough. But I think
too short. That's
it was too. Yeah, thing. It was too short. But man, if that Hart Foundation,
Hart Foundation,
that did really as a whole, if that Hart Foundation feud wasn't good, man, fuck, I don't know what was. Like that has to be my favorite. The feud with him and him and Brad, and then him and Owen. Him and Owen was classic, dude. Yeah. Owen 316 says, "I just broke your neck."
That was crazy.
Come on, there's no more heat than that. Yeah, you can't get any more heat than that. And then
Owen was good at that, though.
Owen was great at that, and then he just would always come out and just stun the Bulldog and stun the Anvil.
Owen was the troll before trolls were happening.
You know what I'm saying? And then also you have the little tie-in with Brian Pillman being part of the foundation at that time too. So that was always cool. And then when he pulled the gun on Pillman and Austin has a gun, that was a classic.
That's a moment too. Yeah.
So that was always one of my favorite feuds. Obviously, I know it's not the go-to. Mr. McMahon is the go-to, but man, that was one of my favorites. I wish he would have feuded longer with Shawn Michaels. I wish there would have been an opportunity for more, because I feel like that feud gets kind of forgotten. It doesn't, but it does at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
he goes, he they have their iconic feud, but they don't ever retouch it, and that feud in its own isn't really that long. It spans from like the Royal Rumble to, you know what I'm saying, to WrestleMania 14.
It could have been something bigger than it was. I know what you mean.
No, it was good. Don't get me wrong.
Big.
And it wasn't like
big, but it's not what people remember. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's because Shawn gets hurt, obviously. But I just wish they would have been able to readdress that or something like that. But their paths just don't cross in enough time. So, you know, we'll get over that for now, I guess. But let's play a quick little Austin name game. I'm gonna throw some names at you.
Okay.
All right. And you're going to tell me the name or Stone Cold Steve Austin, who ranks higher to you.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan.
Oh, Hogan, dude. I'm sorry, Stone Cold. Hogan.
Really?
Hogan, man.
That might be a controversial take, dude. I don't know about that.
Okay, so Stone Cold is known... He's a known name in wrestling fans, you know, houses. But your casual fan knows Hulk Hogan.
Dude, but the casual fan knows Stone Cold Steve Austin now, too.
Not more than Hogan,
is on so many things. Stone Cold has been on so many things, dude. The late 90s was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, that's true. I guess, I don't know, man. But to me, Hogan's just everything what wrestling is, you know what I mean?
I guess it comes back to the argument of, like, what's more impressive? The fact, you know what I'm saying, that Hogan kind of kicked everything off and everything got built on his shoulders, basically, or the fact that Austin saved everything, you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of, you know, that's what I break it down to. Because to me, honestly, I say Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh,
he's the top drawing champion of all time, dude.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Stone Cold moved the most tickets.
I did not know that. That's crazy.
Austin,
more than Hogan, huh?
Yeah, more than Hogan.
That's crazy as fuck.
He's the top drawing champion of all time. Is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's fucking nuts, dude.
Austin moved the needle. He had to. I'm telling you.
Because they were at war at the time, dude.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They had to put up or shut up, you know what I mean?
I mean, the NWA and WWF at the time, they were in competition, but I wouldn't call it a war.
Feud, though,
I wouldn't call it a war, like an all-out war like
yeah.
WCW and WWF in the during the Monday Night Wars.
Mm-hmm.
That was, you know what I'm saying? They were out for blood, and they were trying to put each other out of business at that point. So, I mean,
That's
I think
crazy that you picked Stone Cold over Hogan.
I have to, dude. I think I have to. All right, let's go next one. And let's neither of us hate on this one, okay?
Okay.
Stone Cold, John Cena.
Oh.
We both hate John Cena, just so it's out there.
Out of longevity, I'm gonna have to say Cena.
Ooh.
I'm gonna have to say Cena out of longevity
dude.
and what he brought to the business. And I know it's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
We might not be brothers anymore, dude. I don't. Wow. Really?
Yeah, man.
John Cena over Stone Cold Steve Austin. Austin saved the business. Cena fucking killed the Attitude Era.
Yeah, he did. But I mean, I don't know, man.
I'll give Cena longevity. Like, he was there for longer, but he put up mediocre work. Like, god damn it, dude. Does Cena even have? Man. Like, I don't know.
He doesn't have moments like Stone Cold either for such a, long career.
He has a couple.
He has a couple moments, but not like, not the moments that Stone Cold has.
Yeah, it's just, man. I don't know. I obviously I would go Stone Cold over John Cena. Yeah, I'd go Stone Cold over Cena. I'm telling you, dude. Austin's the guy that saved the business, and Cena's the guy that, like I said, kind of took it a step back again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're barely starting to shake ourselves out of the John Cena era, which is why I think people get so upset with the whole Roman Reigns thing. But that's another conversation. Right? Yeah. All right, here we go. Now we're gonna get tricky. Now, dude, we're gonna get tricky. Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels.
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold,
Stone Cold, yeah.
Really?
Stone Cold.
I have more trouble with these ones because I think wrestling can be broken down not into two categories, but like there's two big things about wrestling for sure. Like two big aspects of it. There's the entertainment aspect and there's the actual in-ring performance aspect. And I think like you can be the greatest at one and you can be the greatest at the other, but to be the really true greatest, that's really hard, and that's what really sets apart the, you know what I'm saying, some of them. Like Hogan was a great performer, wasn't the greatest wrestler. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Bret, breaks my heart to say this, is sacrilege, was the greatest in-ring performer. Didn't have the most the most charisma, and you know what I'm saying, and that's what sets him back. Stone Cold was a great performer at one point, and then he lost it due to I kind of like put an asterisk next to Austin because it's not his fault. It was physically, you know what I'm saying, like he deteriorated really, really fast. And with Shawn, it was just like it's hard to put anybody up there with him. So it's just man, I gotta go with Shawn.
You have to go with Shawn,
dude. The 5-star matches, and then the fact that he does it late in his career is just like something that you hold over Austin. Kind of the fact that he was. I mean, it's not his fault, but he couldn't do it. Like,
I'll say this much, dude. I think people don't. I think Austin is underrated as a performer. You know what I mean? Like, people don't big up his wrestling as much as they should. They're in love with the character, the promos, and everything like that. But Austin was really good in the ring, man, and people really do forget that. He had some of the best punches, the best.
He's a great brawler. He's a great brawler,
dude. He would really have him like nice and snug. He would lay it in.
Yeah, he would lay his shit in. That was always one thing about Austin. He was very snug, but he was never like. I never heard about Austin having a rep of being like a guy that hurt anybody.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was gonna say right now. Think about it. How like intense his style of wrestling was. And you never hear Austin, hurting somebody.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I never heard about that, dude. I never heard Austin.
You never hear about him, accidentally kneeing and breaking somebody's nose.
Or maybe or pile driving somebody at SummerSlam 1997 and breaking their neck or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Austin, to me, dude, like, I love him as a wrestler, dude. Like, I love his mic stuff, but his wrestling work is really tight to me.
His early wrestling work, dude. Like, honestly, not before the neck injury, because obviously the neck injury was kind of like a big. Well, it was really early in his career, like really early in his rise. But like, I think after the neck fusion surgery, definitely. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely after the neck fusion surgery, he comes back as like kind of a mended man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, it's not the same.
It wasn't the same Austin after that. I mean, don't get me wrong. The character was so cool, and
the character saved it a lot.
He could still give you good matches, but he wasn't going to give you a 5-star match anymore. You know what I'm saying? He has that one 5-star match to his credit as Stone Cold, and that was the one with Bret, and then he just he could. Was it that he didn't have another dance partner that could give him 5 stars?
You wouldn't
Maybe?
say the one with Rock was 5 stars?
Dave Meltzer wouldn't.
Fuck Dave Meltzer.
Oh, are we that podcast this early on?
I'm just playing.
That's all right. Dave Meltzer's not listening right now. Not right now. Eventually, though. One day. But anyways, I don't know. I would give that match 5 stars. It had me on the edge of my seat, but I mean, like I said, I was a kid too, so that's kind of the whole, I guess that's kind of the whole point of the show, right?
Yeah.
But all right, let's move on. Wait, did you even give me an answer? Shawn Michaels or Stone Cold?
No, yeah, I said Stone Cold.
Okay, all right, cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, here's the hard one for us. Stone Cold or Bret Hart?
Oh, I love Bret, dude, but Stone Cold.
Really?
Yeah, because, at the end of the day, and I hate to say this, but Bret was really a placeholder, you know what I mean? Like, he was a placeholder.
Dude. It sucks.
He's my favorite wrestler of all time, just like you, dude.
Me too, dude, obviously.
But, like,
we're
you know what I mean?
Bret,
I'm trying to be
Bret
unbiased here, and you can't say that.
It's hard for me to be unbiased, dude, because most of my childhood, and like I said, and especially because this show is going to be mostly about our childhoods, it's Bret's gonna come up a lot, guys. So you know, I'm gonna find a way to work Bret Hart into every single episode of this show. I swear, I love Bret Hart. I am a Bret Hart mark. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. But that being said, I think I have to side with you on this. On that one point, dude. It's really hard for me to say it because Bret was so instrumental. But what always takes him down. And it sucks because it would have took Shawn down too, except for Shawn has that second act.
Yeah.
It's the fact that when they reigned supreme over everything, it was the downtime of the business. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it was unfortunately just the downtime. And then Austin gets that's the thing. You never want to be the guy, and they say it a lot in pro basketball, and you're not even pro basketball, pro sports period. You never want to be the guy that comes after the guy.
Yeah,
you always want to be the guy that comes after that guy. And that's exactly what Austin is. Bret and Shawn had the, unfortunate duty to come after Hogan, which was not not an enviable task, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody would want to they were set up to fail basically.
Yeah.
And Austin had the luxury of coming in as the backup QB after the starting QB fucked up. He had the luxury of coming in off the bench and being, he's basically Nick Foles. Yeah, he was Nick Foles before Nick Foles, dude. But he strolls in and saves the day.
Yeah, dude.
And that's, you know what I'm saying? He gets the luxury of it. Exactly. Stunning Steve Austin in the Ringmaster. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even remember the Ringmaster. It's funny because we touched on our first memories of Stone Cold. Yeah. I didn't even remember the Ringmaster.
You didn't remember the Ringmaster?
No, because I'm telling you, my first memories of wrestling really come at WrestleMania 9. They happen, and then it kind of just is in and out after that for like 5 years or whatever, or 4 years. Then at WrestleMania 13, I finally jumped back in hard, all head first and all in. But at that time, he's already Stone Cold Steve Austin. The Ringmaster's already gone. He's been gone for months.
Was Austin's belt blue?
Yeah, did you not know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, the
watching
big
the
eagle,
network on the
we have to watch it for some, some inspiration. But yeah, Austin's belt was blue, dude.
I did not know that. Dude.
Yeah,
that's weird.
The winged eagle was black and the big eagle was blue.
Wow.
Cool. They darkened the strap afterwards.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I didn't know he had it blue.
Yeah,
like
that one's blue. The Intercontinental's purple.
For Austin?
No, for in general.
Or in general?
Yeah, did you never see it?
No, I never knew the fucking... Yeah, I didn't know
that
was blue.
The icy is purple. It's like dark purple.
Yeah, never knew that. Wow.
Yeah, and then I think like European was like dark green for like a smidget. I don't know. I always wish they would have brought back the European title.
They probably will someday, dude. Especially with NXT being as hot as it is right now. I could see them bringing it back for that.
I don't know. But anyways, that's not Stone Cold. Anyways, yeah, let's get back to it. As much as it breaks both our hearts,
it has to be Stone Cold.
It has to be Stone Cold over Bret. Here's a crazy one, too. It's because you were talking about longevity. Here's a crazy one. Stone Cold or Triple H?
See, I can't really, compare the two because, like...
Because they're just they've taken such radical different paths, right?
It's way
radically
too different.
Paths.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Because I think to just judge Triple H on solely his in-ring career and it'd be unfair at this point, right? Because he's done so much outside the ring that's like he's so important now to the sport of wrestling.
Big figure now.
Yeah, at this point it's just like I think if you take everything into consideration, obviously it's Triple H.
Yeah,
it has to be Hunter easily. But if you take just the in-ring impact and just the impact on the product, on the WWE television or anything like that, I think it's Austin.
It's Austin because he saved them from, going out of business. That's a big key that is going to come up back and forth because that's what it is, dude. if WCW wins, then there might not be a Triple H.
Yeah, that's always his trump card. I think that's always the trump card that Austin will have over pretty much everybody. Is that he's the guy. You know what I'm saying? He's the savior. He was always the savior, and I think that's, you know what I'm saying, like that's something no one's gonna ever be able to take away from him. You know, so I don't know. Like I said, I think it's Triple H overall. If you take everything into consideration, I think it's Triple H. I think it has to be Triple H. But I think if you go just in ring,
Austin has a trump card.
All right. Well, here's the last one, dude. Here's the last one.
Okay.
But I think it's the trickiest one. Stone Cold Steve Austin or Ric Flair.
All right. Are you talking about wrestling in general or just WWF, WWE? Career-wise?
Well, I mean, it's because you can't really. I mean, Ric Flair's career is WWE's part of it, but it's, you know what I'm saying, like the
it's more NWA,
the chunk,
WCW,
the meat of it, the meat and potatoes where his legacy is in the NWA. So I'm assuming you take that Flair, 80s.
I take 80s Flair over 80s Austin,
Flair over Austin.
But as far as somebody who revolutionized like sports entertainment, I'm gonna have to say Austin over Ric Flair.
Really?
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, Ric Flair's still relevant today. That's the crazy thing.
I was gonna say that because there's no Stone Cold Drip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no Stone Cold Drip. There's a Ric Flair drip.
Yeah.
I go with Flair, dude. Yeah? I go with Flair. I love Austin.
Flair's my second favorite wrestler of all time.
Dude. I don't know what my rank even. Honestly, like my official rank, I don't even honestly know what it looks like after Bret. But I know Flair. I mean, fuck, dude. It's so hard not to love Flair. It is so hard not to love Flair. Like, dude, Flair has to be higher than Austin. Like,
Flair would still be wrestling right now if it was up to him too.
If it was up to him, I think he would be wrestling.
He'd be still fucking blading in the ring and shit like that.
Yeah, he would, dude. Yeah, he would. But yeah, no, I just think overall his importance and the longevity for how long he did it and at the level that he did it, dude. So Eric Bischoff tried to put Flair out to pasture so many times. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Jim Herd tried to do that to Flair. Multiple people tried to do that to Flair so many times, put him out to pasture, and you just couldn't keep him down because the people love him.
Yeah.
People love Ric Flair. You know what I'm saying? The impact that he had. Yeah, I think when you really look at it,
he's an icon, dude.
Yeah, he didn't have
and not just for wrestling, dude. He's a pop culture icon.
Flair wasn't the game changer that Austin was, because that's what Austin was. He was the ultimate game changer. He was not the ultimate game changer like Austin, but as far as longevity and just total impact on wrestling and
you got to think about
everything,
age too,
I think it's Flair.
Yeah. It has to be Flair on a wider scale. It has to be Flair, but
in WWF, obviously, it's Austin and Stone Cold. He'll hard. I don't think anybody will ever top him. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really, I don't know. He's the Wayne Gretzky of wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Like of WWF really at least. Yeah. Of WWF, it's gonna be really hard for anyone to touch Stone Cold, especially, you know what I'm saying? Especially nowadays. I think is the way it's structured nowadays. It's gonna be really hard for anyone to touch Austin's legacy.
Yeah.
Where do you rank Austin in mic work?
In mic work?
Yeah. Like, do it. Impromptu name game. Now we're doing just mic work.
Okay.
All right.
So what
Stone Cold.
Okay, go.
Stone Cold or The Rock?
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold or woo, the Nature Boy.
Oh, Nature Boy.
Yeah.
Nature Boy.
Yeah, Nature Boy kills him, dude. All right. Stone Cold, CM Punk.
Stone Cold, because CM Punk bit a lot of his style.
Do you think that?
Yeah,
really?
CM Punk bit hell yeah, dude. CM Punk bit Stone Cold hard, dude. Okay, I love CM Punk, but you can't say that I'm a rebel against authority wasn't kind of a throwback to Stone Cold Steve Austin beating.
Yeah,
it was.
It was, but he didn't drink beer or.
I don't know. He was a straight edge version of it.
Yeah, I guess he was a straight edge version of him, but you can't. I mean, like they can't call dibs on just like anti-authority figures. You can't just call dibs on that forever.
That's
true.
But it's just super reminiscent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, all right, whatever. Well, let's not get caught up in it. All right, anyways. So we said CM Punk, we said Ric Flair, we said The Rock. All right, here's another one. This is a little more modern day. Stone Cold, The Miz. See where you rank Miz at.
I rank Miz really high.
Me too.
I don't think people, respect Miz as much as they should, but oh, dude.
Better promo, Stone Cold or The Miz?
Stone Cold. Miz is really good.
Oh, dude, I love Stone Cold. I love Stone Cold. I don't think Stone Cold could cut the promos The Miz cuts, dude.
Okay, I got one for you.
Because they're borderline shoot, dude.
Oh yeah. No, they are shoot.
They are shoot. They are shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like they're shoot. And I don't think Austin, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As much as it was like, as much as the character was revolutionary for it being like mostly real or whatever, feeling real, I think a lot of it was also him playing a character.
Yeah, that's true.
Where the Miz, it feels like it's, you know what I'm saying? Like it feels like he's shooting from the hip for reals, and it's just like I don't know.
Okay,
but I think the Miz is a better.
I got one for you. Roddy Piper or Stone Cold Steve Austin? That's a good one, right?
Ooh. I think.
Tread lightly.
Oh man, I gotta go to the Hot Rod, dude.
Yeah,
better promo. Go to the Hot Rod. I think better promo.
Yeah, better promo has to go to Hot Rod.
I got one for you. I got one for you. Freak out. Stone Cold or the Macho Man.
Macho Man, because he was just fucking crazy lit on the fucking mic, dude.
Stone Cold, dude. Stone Cold in his era was the fucking man, dude. But the Macho Man...
There's something intimidating about Macho Man's voice, though.
He was so not even big.
Oh, yeah.
But he was like...
He was not.
I'm telling you, he's so not big. But like the presence of... You know what I'm saying? Like the attitude and everything, the way he carried himself was so huge, dude. And he cut the best promos. I think...
Yeah.
Macho Man might be my favorite promo guy after Ric Flair. I think Ric Flair is the best promo guy ever. That's just me, dude.
He's definitely top 5. I don't know if he's the best ever.
I think some of the... Have you gone back and looked at some of those old NWA ones, dude, where he's just... Don't wrap me up!
Okay, so where do you rank Dusty, then?
I think Dusty... See, I'm a heel guy.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing, dude. So that's the caveat that I always put on everything. In my rankings is I'm biased towards heels. I love Dusty, don't get me wrong. That whole son of a plumber shit, I love
times,
it.
Baby.
Yeah, I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love all that shit. But it's just, you know, that milky baby face, you know what I'm saying? That white meat baby face. I can't, I don't know. I just don't give it as much.
But Dusty wasn't, you know, white milky baby face though. He was complete. That's why he stands
Dusty
out.
was the definition of white meat baby face, dude.
No, but when I think of baby face, I think of like, you know, like Cena or Hogan. Roman Reigns or Hogan, you know what I mean? Dusty was like, you know,
he was the American
dream, baby. Like, you know, he just had something sassy, something crazy about him. You know what I mean? Like,
don't get me wrong, dude. Dusty's an incredible talker, but for me, I think Flair, dude. Flair, come on, Flair, the jet flying, limousine riding.
Flair was good at getting people to hate the fuck out of him.
Wheeling dealing, son of a gun.
He's having a hard time
holding his alligators down.
Yeah,
he really is, dude.
Yeah, still to this day,
till this fucking day.
Okay,
Ric Flair.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. Like I said, to me, Ric Flair's the best ever. So it's hard for me to rank anybody above him. But I don't know. I think did we even do this one yet? Stone Cold or The Rock? Did I already say that one?
Yeah.
Okay, and see, that's why I don't remember it, because you easily went Stone Cold. Do you really think it's that easy? Because to me, it was a little bit harder of a decision.
Stone Cold or Rock?
Yeah, better promo.
I like Rock a lot. I would put Rock really high in my top 5 too. But I would have to say Stone Cold just for the fact that I feel like Rock rehearsed most of his shit, like, and Stone Cold, every time he would cut shit, I could tell he would just be like thinking of shit, like he'd be like freestyling shit off the top of his head. That's what I thought was super tight about, you know,
really?
Stone Cold. I know Rock probably did some crazy shit like that too, but to me it just seemed like Austin had less of a you know, he had a shtick, but I don't want to say shtick. He just seemed like he was more.
The Rock was kind of a shtick. Don't get me wrong.
Rock was shtick. Rock was, you know what I mean?
The whole character was kind of a shtick, but don't get me wrong. Yeah, it was. Stone Cold was a little more organic. It felt more organic. It felt more real.
I guess those are the words I was trying to find.
Yeah, so I guess I'm with you there. To me, it was a little bit of a harder decision, dude, because I think back at some of those classic Rock and Jericho promos, or just some.
Those are classic.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Jericho Austin.
Ooh,
Jericho Austin.
Ooh, damn! I don't want to make the list.
You might.
This is a hard one. You know what, dude? I'm gonna I'm gonna play the longevity card, and I'm gonna say Jericho, just because he had
yeah.
so, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's still cutting that promo on Dean Malenko with 1,000 holds. You know what I'm saying? Like, that promo's still going on to this day. I think he's on like move 867 of the 1,001 moves that he knows. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the classic shit like that. He's got classic promos in WCW, WWE. Shit, he's even got some in Japan now after the last shit, after the shit with Kenny Omega. Like, Jericho is just
wherever he went, dude. He would always put points on the board. You know what I mean?
Always, you know what I'm saying. Jericho was always a great promo, and I mean that's nothing against Stone Cold. I just think some of Jericho's shit.
I would put him over Austin and Rock as far as promo, dude.
What's your favorite? Really, you would put Jericho? I think you know what? I think that's not a bad one, dude. Jericho's a great one. Actually, cheap plug. By the time you guys are listening to this, my new article will have dropped on Wrestling Examiner. I need you guys to go check it out. It's called Rise Jericho. It's about the debut of Chris Jericho. It's not most of my articles are like full bios on wrestlers, but a lot of them are because they're retired already, or you know what I'm saying, their careers are done or pretty much wound down.
So will this be your first active one?
I guess no, I did one on the Miz, and that's I usually try to do them more on retired wrestlers. I do them on retired wrestlers because people like nostalgia stuff, and that's what gets the most pop, and that's the stuff people react to and what they like. And honestly, that's the stuff I enjoy doing the most because it's nostalgic for me, and it's like it
hits home.
Yeah, it hits home. And I obviously I have one on Stone Cold. I already did one. If you guys want to check that out too, it's out there on Wrestling Examiner. But no, the new Jericho one it's out. If you guys want to go and like I said, just check it out. It's only about Jericho's debut. Whenever he does retire, I am gonna do a full Jericho one, but for now, it's just about. This is just about. Dude, that's one of my favorite moments ever in wrestling history. Is Jericho's debut. So we're just gonna go ahead and plug that real quick. But anyways, back to Jericho and Austin. I think, like I said, Austin's a great promo, but yeah, Jericho longevity wise, he has him. He pretty much got him.
Yeah, he's still doing it. That's why.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Austin dream matches.
Okay, awesome.
Give me like 2 dream matches that you wish Austin would have been able to have. Give me one from the Attitude Era, you know what I'm saying, like, or his time as an active wrestler.
Okay.
Give me one from then, and give me one from now, from like active, or just times that they wouldn't have matched up timeline wise.
Okay, so from Attitude Era.
Yeah, so give me something that matches up with him timeline wise, career wise, to where it would have been realistic, and then give me one where you like.
And then just a dream match.
Yeah, just a dream match, basically. Yeah.
Okay, so from Attitude Era, let's see. I'm trying to think of the roster back then.
A lot of them would have been WCW. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of them would have been WCW.
Or guys that he just missed out on. You know what I'm saying? Like like Brock Lesnar. Obviously, everybody knows.
I was gonna say Brock Lesnar for the new fucking era. I would love to see that for.
Well, obviously, it could have happened. It was gonna happen on free TV, and that's why Austin walked out.
Yeah.
That was one of the big moments, dude. I remember when Austin walked out. That was super huge.
He didn't think Brock was gonna be the guy that he was, though, and that's most of the reason why he didn't want to, lay down for him. But everything's different with retrospect, I suppose. But for the Attitude Era, who would be a good one for Austin to go head to head with? Does it have to be WWE or could it be WCW guys?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. WCW, like just anything in that time. Who do you think? Who would you have loved to see Austin go up against or have a feud with that just it never materialized?
I would really, really would have loved to seen Austin, at the peak of his heat versus a crazy ECW Taz. I think to me that would have been fucking sick. Dude.
Wow,
just
that's
the two bad motherfuckers from each promotion. Can you imagine the promos they would have cut on each other? And I can imagine just Taz just standing there like mad dogging the fuck out of Austin and Austin not backing down. And I just think it would be fucking sick. And those two would have gave great matches, dude. Those two would have gave us some really good quality matches.
I think if they would have let him actually go at it, it could have been something real good. But they would have had to book them as equals, you know what I'm saying? Like that was the problem with Taz once he came in, is like they booked him really hot. Really hot when he started. He broke Angle's winning streak, and then after that, he kind of it was all downhill from there. And they just never really booked him seriously. You know what I'm saying? They booked him as a secondary wrestler, and when he could have been like the human suplex machine. And
that's why I wasn't saying WWF Taz.
No, for sure. No, definitely. That's an interesting one for definitely. That's definitely an interesting one for sure. Mine for Attitude Era / timeline wise would have been realistic. Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, that would have been really good,
especially in WWF. Because no disrespect to Rock and Hogan. That's one of the most iconic matches in wrestling history. It's one of the, you know what I'm saying, like dream matches ever, biggest dream matches ever. But it should have been Austin. You know what I'm saying? It was always supposed to be
in
Stone
one of the
Cold.
episodes on his podcast, he was talking about Hook, because I think that WrestleMania he was facing Scott Hall.
Yeah,
and he was like, no disrespect
to
Scott Hall, but I should have been in there with Hogan.
And it all boils down to just neither one of them wanted to lose. Neither one of them, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously Austin, I at the time I don't think it was right. Austin shouldn't have lost. It should have been Hogan, but obviously, as we can all imagine, that didn't work for me, brother.
Yeah,
you know, fucking Hogan was not about to lay down for Austin. Hogan probably thought it was better business to let, you know what I'm saying, have Austin lay down and take the old leg drop and take the 1, 2, 3 for the immortal one.
Well, he laid down for Rock. How do you really convince him for that?
I don't know. You know what? I always thought that to myself because
Stone Cold was a big.
I mean, obviously that's the rumor out there. Obviously, that's the, you know, to steal a line from Conrad and Bruce Pritchard. That's the rumor and innuendo is that Austin and Hogan was supposed to happen and then it didn't happen because, you know what I'm saying, neither one of them wanted to lay down, which I always kind of believe. But then I also that there is that question is like, well, then why would he agree to lay down for Rock?
Rock, exactly.
Was it an ego thing? Was it he just did not want to lay down for Austin, and because Rock was a secondary guy, he said, "Hey, I'll make this guy."
That's what I was going to tell you right now. Do you think it's less threatening to lay down to Rock than it is to lay down for Austin?
I think for Hogan, maybe.
It would have been, right?
Because at the time, like, no disrespect to Rock, and there's no disrespect to Rock ever, but yeah, I don't think ever The Rock was ever going to be on Stone Cold's level because, he, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was that guy too, but he was like, it's easier to come by and it's easier to jump on the bandwagon once the fucking shit's rolling. Once Austin got it rolling, it was easier to be like, hey, I'm carrying the load too. No disrespect to The Rock. He's one of the best ever, but I just think it's harder. It was harder for Stone Cold to build the momentum than it was for someone else to just keep it going. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that it wasn't The Rock's choice. It wasn't The Rock's fault, but I just think that's the position that The Rock fell into. And so maybe
Jesus, why was Vince so big?
Vince was fucking huge,
Holy
dude.
Fuck,
Vince was
dude,
huge.
We're about
to watch Austin. We're about to watch Austin and Vince the first time they wrestled.
Young Shane, he's just like super
right.
smaller
Look at
than
Shane.
his dad.
Look at Shane. Look at him. Young Shane. Well, why do you think Shane never wanted to go back to the dye in his hair? You know what I'm saying? Like he would still look so young if he would just
look super young. I don't know if you look at his face, but his face doesn't have like wrinkles or anything. His face is really
they're really rich, dude. It's Botox. Yeah, he went with the silver fox look. So I mean, because look at how young he looks right here. You look at Vince. Look, he could have that salt and pepper hair color that Vince has right here, where there's like a few grays, but it's mostly like light brown. He could have that shit going on, and he'd look way younger. That would take like 10 years off of Shane.
So that's like not natural, right?
Oh hell no, that's not natural, dude.
No, that's not natural, right? Look how fucking he looks like
hell
a gorilla.
No, dude. Look at Vince just walking around the ring, fucking chest puffed out, looking like Hogan.
Jesus Christ, he's ridiculous.
Look at that shit, dude. It's crazy to think, but you really think about it. That's the reason why WWF came out on top of the WWE of the Monday Night Wars and why they were able to take WCW down. Because this shit is so crazy, dude. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Vince McMahon had to like. In an era where kayfabe is still kind of alive, had to have been like the craziest shit to ever fathom. Like imagine taking a break from wrestling. Like imagine being really into wrestling
and like
and then taking not even the 80s, like in 1994. Not even 1994. In 1995, dude. Imagine 1995 and you're just like, fucking, I'm done. I'm taking a break. And then you come back in middle of 96 and everything's fucking different. Yeah. And then in fucking, and not even 96, dude. In 97, you come back. 96 is different. Hogan's heel. And you give it 6 more months, and what the fuck? You turn it on WWF television. Hold on, is that Stunning Steve Austin? Is that Stunning Steve Austin about to? Is that the announcer? Vince McMahon? The announcer? Is he really about to beat up the announcer, Vince McMahon? Is that unbelievable?
What a maneuver!
What a maneuver! Like really? Like that's really about to happen? But that's the kind of crazy shit that it took, and that's what saved wrestling and turned it all around. And that's crazy to say. When you say it out loud, it sounds so fucking nuts, dude. It sounds so silly to say it, but that's why it worked. Because it was so out of this world.
Is so awesome, dude.
It was so out of this world. And the natural chemistry between Stone Cold and Mr. McMahon was just off the charts, dude. It just so worked. Look, the looks that he would give people and just, man, everything Austin would do, and everything that McMahon would do, it would just complement each other.
The
every time
dude.
They fed off of each other
perfect
so well. So anyways, let's jump back into our conversation. So we were talking about dream matches for Austin.
Oh, yeah,
we were
yeah.
doing Attitude Era. You said Taz.
Yeah, Taz.
Badass ECW Taz, though.
Badass ECW Taz, yeah.
Not whack ass WWE Taz, WWF Taz. And I had said Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Which would have been awesome.
Which would have been awesome. Now, let's talk about Stone Cold dream matches that...
Current day?
Yeah, current day. That wouldn't have been able to happen. Austin was well retired already.
I was super mad that they teased that Brock Lesnar one on his podcast on the network and it never happened. That
That was
match,
a super crazy
that would have been really
situation.
good.
I never understood that, which always made me think like, wait, were they fucking shooting or were they not shooting? Because if they were shooting, that's fucking awesome. And if they weren't shooting, if they were, you know what I'm saying, if that was a work, why?
Yeah, I don't know.
It never made any sense. Like there was no payoff to it. Like if that was a work, then there should have been a payoff.
I think Austin just got caught up in the moment and just said some crazy
Is
shit.
that just you think that was just it?
I
Like
think it was
two
just him,
extremely superb performers getting
Yeah.
caught, you know what I'm saying? Like getting caught in a
Brock
freestyle
threw it out
second
there. Yeah,
and getting
Brock
caught
threw
in
it
a
out
freestyle
there
second
and then
real quick, you know what I'm saying?
Austin
Like,
316 came out of there and he was like, "No, motherfucker, hold your."
hey,
You know
well,
what I mean?
hey, dude, Austin's from an era where you got to keep kayfabe no
Oh,
matter
yeah,
what.
dude.
You know what I'm saying? So
Hell
they
yeah.
had him live on the network, and he said, "Fuck it, I'm not about to get done up by Paul E."
Hell no.
So maybe that's what it was, dude. But I was always disappointed that didn't happen too. So that's your pick then? So Brock Lesnar, right?
Brock Lesnar and
Brock
Stone Cold
Lesnar. You
Steve
wish it would have
Austin.
happened. I think it's a pretty obvious one. CM Punk.
CM Punk and Austin?
CM Punk and Austin. Like you said, CM Punk, kind of ripped off his gimmick a little bit. So I think it would have only been right if Austin would have maybe came out and, challenged CM Punk. Obviously, these are ones that the timeline didn't match up. So realistically, for the match I wanted, it would have been peak Austin. So like 96,
Peak Austin,
97
that's what I was gonna say,
against
yeah.
peak CM Punk, which would have been like 2011 Punk.
2011 Punk.
So
Money in the Bank Punk.
yeah, Money in the Bank Punk. So I think that would have been my dream match, and I think the promos would have been amazing. WWE's production, their video packages leading up to the match would have been amazing. That's also something I've taken into consideration because I love WWF's and WWE's video packaging work, and I just think for me, I wish we would have been able to get the Stone Cold Hulk Hogan video package / feud / match. You know what I'm saying? I really don't care about the
really
match.
good, dude.
It would have been an awesome moment, and I wish we would have gotten the feud, and I wish we would have gotten the video package because there were so many clips. You know what I'm saying? And so much that they could have been able to play on. You know what I'm saying? Like the old King versus the new King, and you know what I'm saying?
Something like that. Yeah.
Wrestling's past versus wrestling's real present. You know what I'm saying? The Rock was wrestling's. It's always crazy to watch WrestleMania 18 back and listen to the video package of that, and to hear Michael Cole say wrestling's past meets wrestling's future when The Rock was literally gone, and the next year was like his last full-time Mania.
Yeah.
His last full-time Mania was like that year, because then he goes away to do Scorpion King, and then comes back. He comes back as Hollywood heel Rock versus Austin at 19, and that's, you know what I'm saying, his last ride. Then he comes back for 20 with Mick Foley as that part-time Rock, and then he's gone.
Yeah. And then he's gone.
Yeah, then he's gone until 28.
Yeah?
27, he hosted.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He came back as a surprise host.
Yeah, he hosted. Then he's back. He's gone until 27. So, I mean, it's crazy to always hear, like, wrestling's past and wrestling's future when it's like, that's not wrestling's future.
No.
That's wrestling's secondary right now.
Probably.
To be
wrestling's
fair.
immediate future, maybe. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I still think Austin was the man at that time.
You think so?
I think at no point, do you think at any point The Rock over, you know what I'm saying, like, past Austin in popularity or importance? I don't think so. I don't think there was at any moment. I don't think.
Okay, so are you saying in the Attitude Era, or
Just at any point? I don't.
Right
think...
now he's bigger. Rock is way bigger than Austin now.
I mean, in just like pop culture in general, but I'm talking about just in the wrestling business.
Wrestling history. Think about it. WrestleMania 30, right? Who came out first? Austin, right? And then Rock. And when it was Hogan, Rock, and Austin in the ring. Do you remember that? Was it Austin first? I think it might have been Austin first and then Rock. I don't know. I just remember that they popped way harder for Rock than they did Stone Cold. And it has to be for a reason, dude. I don't know if the pop culture aspect helps Rock a lot.
I think the pop culture aspect helps Rock a lot. I think
you think because he's more recognizable to, like, parents
the crowd and shit like that? I don't think at any point during their in-ring career or even after that to wrestling, I don't think he was more important. I don't think he was more important. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he had a bigger impact. The Rock was awesome, dude. But like I said, and it's no disrespect to him, it's always easier to be Scotty than to be Michael.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, it is. Yeah.
no disrespect. Hey,
yeah.
Kobe Bryant's my favorite player of all time, but it's easier to be fucking young Kobe with the fro than it was to be Shaq.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
You know?
You're right.
Like, it's easier to be the secondary guy. There's less pressure on you. And I'm sure Rock was always aiming for Austin's spot, but he never. I don't feel like he ever really got it.
He was never really the guy, but I just think
that's what I'm saying. So that's why I could never, you know what I'm saying? I could never put him above him in importance. I don't think so. So I don't know. I just think Hogan and Austin, the video package would have been tight for that. CM Punk and Austin would have been pretty dope.
Tight, yeah.
So I'm jealous that The Rock got the fucking feud with CM Punk too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Is that crazy? That in both those scenarios of my dream matches, The Rock got both. The Rock got both. That's crazy.
He has a couple Mania matches still in him too, dude.
Do you think so? Do you think The Rock ever comes back?
Rock has a couple Manias. Yeah, of course he does, dude.
Okay, do you think
he's gonna get the eat? No, dude, it's over for Stone Cold.
You really think so?
His neck's too fucked up, dude.
He still looks so good though.
Because he stays in shape, but fuck, dude, I wouldn't want him in just because I don't want like an incident to happen.
But I mean, he couldn't come in and do a fucking Taker. You know what I'm saying? Like Taker,
he could definitely do a Taker.
Just demolish Cena in under 2 minutes. You know, under 3 minutes, and yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like he couldn't go and do a Taker. Like, come on, he doesn't need to. Like Kurt Angle's out there. You know what I'm saying? Bow-legged and bow-legged and all and shit, and he's still out there doing his shit. Like. Oh, Dude Love just came out. So Mick Foley, speaking of, Mick Foley did this shit for, you know what I'm saying, however many years with like a hip halfway back, halfway up his back and shit.
He fucking, the match with Edge, dude. He was already way fucked up by that. He past his prime.
Way past his prime, dude. Way past his prime.
To put a classic out.
I don't know. I don't ever want to say, you never say never in wrestling, but.
You don't, but I think Austin made it clear that, you know, it's over for him.
Yeah, at this point, who too, right? Like, who would be big enough for him to even. I think a couple years ago, maybe
who would be
Ambrose was on that trajectory. I think maybe a couple years ago with that rebellious kind of thing, and then they kind of ruined him. So obviously, I think at this point, there's nobody that Stone Cold would wrestle. I think it's done.
Yeah, but who would have thought Goldberg would have came back too?
But Brock Lesnar was always there. I mean, I guess as long as WWE owns Brock Lesnar's rights, forever, however long that is, I guess maybe they'll always have that to dangle them for Austin, because that's always one that, like, you, I mean, example, you just said it right now, that's one of your dream matches. Yeah. So that's always out there.
I still want to see that match, dude.
I do too. Honestly, if I was...
the promos would be good, but I just don't know how good the match would be itself.
Oh, no, the match itself would be low blow by Austin, probably, because that's the only realistic way he gets him down, and then mudhole.
He would have to be
Luthez Luthez Prez. You know what I'm saying?
It would have to be like a no holds barred.
Yeah, it'd have to be no holds. It'd have to be no holds barred, and then like a bunch of F5. No, see, but that match doesn't work to me because
you have
can't
German suplex. You can't German Austin.
You can't German Austin like that.
Yeah, no.
You're gonna break his neck, dude. Yeah, it would have to be nothing but F5s. It'd have to be a squash, and I don't want to see Austin get squashed like that.
I guess Rock's last match is technically what? Eric Rowan?
The Rock's last match?
Yeah, it was Eric Rowan, right?
Eric
WrestleMania?
Rowan. Or maybe one of the monsters in Rampage. I don't know.
And one of the monsters in Rampage, yeah. That's true.
The Rock is so electrifying. He just electrifies everything.
He's charming as fuck.
He just fucking can charm monkeys, giant monkeys, and just...
He's friends with them and
right,
shit.
And just survives earthquakes and just fucking...
He does crazy
He just
shit,
jumps fucking fast-moving vehicles and shit.
He was a tooth fairy once.
Do you think Stone Cold secretly resents The Rock for his success outside of wrestling?
I don't think Stone Cold likes people, though. You know what I mean? Rock.
I think Stone Cold likes people.
You think Stone Cold likes people?
I think he likes some people.
He likes his kind of people. He's a real.
Whoa!
Country...
Is that a whoa? No. What do you mean, you people?
No. It's not that kind of podcast. I mean, like, he likes, people that hunt. That's why him and Brock get along so well. You know what I mean?
I get it. Hey,
you're not
helping your racist case.
No, dude. I love Brock Lesnar. I made it pretty clear that he's my favorite wrestler right now. At the moment, he's my favorite current wrestler. I'm saying that there's, you know what I mean? I'm gonna stop talking.
Right? No. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But I don't know. I think I would. I'm not gonna lie. I think I would be a little jealous if I was like the top guy in my profession, and then like the guy that's number 2, clearly behind me in my profession, kind of just like jumps out to a bigger profession, and then like kind of becomes clear cut number one, because I mean The Rock's kind of like the number one action star in the world.
Oh yeah, dude.
And there's like nobody even close to him at this point.
He's been doing it for a couple years now.
Yeah,
too,
he
dude.
really has, dude. He really took off.
He
and...
probably surpassed Will Smith as far as
years ago,
right?
dude.
Like,
to me, years ago, I think he
as
he
far as
surpassed Will
he
Smith.
has to be in the blockbusters of the summer.
Yeah,
and shit like that,
it was at the point where really, you know what I'm saying? I think The Rock did an SNL monologue or a skit where he was just like, I think he was just like movie Viagra or some shit like that, where like you put him in your movie and he gets, you know what I'm saying? Like he'll pop a rating for you basically.
Facts,
like, yeah, it's The Rock. You put him in your franchise and he'll revitalize it for you.
He's like
he did
ludicrous in like the early 04.
Yeah, he really is, dude.
He has to be the feature.
He has to be the feature. The Rock has to be the feature, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, it got to that point. So I mean, I don't know. I think it's just human nature to be maybe a little jealous, and maybe who knows though? Maybe Austin doesn't even care about that. Maybe Austin.
That's
is
what I'm
like,
saying.
maybe
Like,
Austin...
I don't think he cares about like movies or
yeah.
Grammys or something.
See, you should have said it like that. You should have
that's
you should have dropped the you people. They got us all off track and shit.
No.
Or his people or his kind and shit.
I meant like people that like to hunt.
I know,
you
I'm
know,
just
country
fucking with
boys. You know what I mean? Like
no, I feel you, dude. I feel what you're saying though. But yeah, so maybe Austin doesn't care about that. Maybe Austin doesn't care about it, and maybe, you know what I'm saying. Did it end?
No, it's good.
All right. So maybe Austin doesn't care about it, and maybe, you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. But I don't know. Like I said, I think he'd care about it. But anyways, so that's Austin dream matches. That's Austin dream matches for past and present. So what's your all-time rank on Austin?
So
I know we've already kind of touched on that, as, you know what I'm saying, like so far. But what's your overall rank on him? Where would you put him?
You see, I'm weird. Like, I have a weird top wrestling list because, like, I'm a really big fan of like lucha wrestling. Like when I grew older, I guess this is a podcast about when we were kids, but now because we're older now, my list has changed so much. Then,
well, I mean, like, eventually, I think, not to segue too much, but eventually I think we're gonna do like a lucha episode.
We have to, yeah.
I don't know about you, but definitely when I was a kid,
right.
The WCW,
exactly,
the luchadors, the cruiserweights were a big part of my wrestling experience when I was a kid. So, I mean, like, to me that's pretty relevant. So, I mean, I don't know. I kind of guess what I mean to say is like, where's Austin on your? Is he on your Mount Rushmore? Is he like?
He has to be on my Mount Rushmore. See, but the Mount Rushmore is different than I think than a top 10 or a top 5. You know what I mean? Because to me, a Mount Rushmore signifies like the faces in pro wrestling that made pro wrestling what it is. It doesn't necessarily mean like the best workers or you know what I mean? Like, it's
I'm not talking about like. Because I guess that's my fault because I wasn't specific. Like, what's your all-time rank on Austin as far as like impact on the business? Because you do have to always add like a caveat to that. And
I would go Hogan, Flair, Austin. Hogan, Flair, Austin.
You know what? Part of me initially wanted to argue you and just be like, wow, how could you do that? But yeah, I guess in all reality, yeah, because if I'm gonna stick to my argument, or the one at least that I gave you, which was like, hey, it's harder to get the ball rolling, and you know what I'm saying, and get the momentum than to keep it. It must have been harder for Flair and Hogan to gain that credibility. You know what I'm saying? Where Austin had that thing where, oh, who's Steve Austin? Oh, he's a wrestler. Oh, that's the thing that Hulk Hogan does, and Ric Flair do. Where in their days, it's not like, oh, Hulk Hogan, he's a wrestler. Oh, is that the thing that Bruno Sammartino did? You know what I'm saying? And that's if you're in New York.
If you're in New York,
that's what I'm saying. Like, there was no household name really.
Well, Flair came before Hogan.
But Flair wasn't that house. Well, I mean, yeah, he was, but he wasn't.
It's just wrestling wasn't that mainstream in the time. That's the thing.
Time out though. Did Flair come that much before Hogan though?
Yeah,
I mean, what's Flair's first world title run is what, 81? No,
1-ish. I know that his big championship came in Starrcade 83 with
83
Race,
which is a year.
But I think by then
WrestleMania.
But I think by then he already been champion like 3 times or something like that.
Yeah, but
that's the one that really got him over.
That's what I'm saying. So is that really like, you know what I'm saying? In all reality, Flair's when Flair starts to get going is right when because Hulkamania doesn't take that long to get rolling, dude. Hulkamania kicks.
Okay. Hulkamania wasn't that big at WrestleMania 1, was it?
It was the reason.
Is that why WrestleMania happened?
Yeah, WrestleMania happens because it's Hulk Hogan.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
It was built off that, you know what I'm saying? Like Rock and Wrestling.
Holy
Hogan
shit,
and Mr. T versus Roddy and And yeah.
Yeah, no, that was
No, not Cindy Lauper. No, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
Yeah.
Is that crazy to think back that like Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff was in the main event of WrestleMania 1 and Mr. T?
I like Mr. Wonderful.
I like him too, but it's just like when you really look back at it,
it's,
like
it's a little crazy. It's
like the list of
Debo
WrestleMania
used to be a wrestler too.
right? The list of WrestleMania main eventers like is really it was really, I don't want to say easy, but it's just like it
definitely was.
Yeah,
it wasn't what it is today.
The rules were a little more lax back then. Like King Kong Bundy has a WrestleMania main event under his belt, and so does Mr. T and Paul Orndorff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a little crazy.
You know, like don't get me wrong, Piper and Hogan definitely deserve
it.
one. But when you throw Orndorff in there and fucking, you know what I'm saying, and you throw King Kong Bundy in there and Lawrence Taylor, there's been some questionable main eventers in WrestleMania history.
Was Mr. T already, Clubber Lang, or was WrestleMania before?
Oh, he was already he was already Clubber Lang. He was.
Oh, then that kind of makes sense. Why though? He was already a huge name then.
Oh yeah, definitely. But my whole point was that Hogan, that was built off of Hogan. So I don't know. We're getting a little cut off. But yeah, no, definitely, yeah. Hogan and Flair, I'd have to place them above him. I think Austin's importance in wrestling is he's probably the third most important wrestler of all time.
Of all time, yeah.
I think it goes Hogan, Flair, and Hogan Flair is kind of a 1A, 1B. To me, obviously, Hogan has to go above Flair a little bit because he was.
But see, we're talking from a purist wrestling standpoint. You know what I mean? Because Cena's still a bigger name, like pop culture wise. Pop culture.
I hate John Cena. Dude.
How many times did Stone Cold get divorced and never trended on Twitter though? John Cena got broken up and that shit trended on Twitter.
Yeah, but it's because Twitter wasn't around back then. Stone Cold.
People wouldn't have cared if fucking Stone Cold divorced Deborah, whoever
How
he
many
was divorcing
fucking
at the time.
TV guides did John Cena ever fucking move, dude? Stone Cold did numbers.
Did he?
Stone Cold moved everything. Anything he fucking touched, he fucking moved, dude. Tell me the one iconic John Cena shirt.
The green one.
Show me the fucking iconic John. There's no iconic John Cena. The green one.
The green one. The
yeah,
red
right.
one.
Yeah,
the
fucking right.
one.
You mean the one he stole from the Samuel Adams fucking? The one he stole from that design? Or come on, dude. Fuck John Cena. Stone Cold Austin 316 is probably the most
still
iconic.
A cool ass wrestling shirt
it's still the most iconic T-shirt in WWF
shirt.
shirt. No. I think in wrestling history, the NWO shirt is probably the most iconic one, the coolest one. But in WWF history, for sure, the most iconic one is the Austin 316. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think that one's all right. Here's an impromptu little name game. Not name game, but what's your favorite Austin quote? Austin 316. That's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. Oh hell yeah. Or what?
Oh,
what?
It has to be what, dude? Because
does
it's
it
so
have
annoying.
to be what?
It's still people are still doing it, dude, and it's annoying as fuck. But
it is annoying as fuck, isn't it?
Yeah, dude.
Isn't it so fucking crazy that he was so over that he got what over?
Yeah.
He got what
tight.
over, dude? For real.
Austin made everything hot, dude. He was gold at one point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that initial one, I think the best Stone Cold catchphrase has to be
316.
Austin 316 says I just
Snake
whooped your
Roberts.
ass. Yeah, that was because it was off the cuff too. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like
what
it
I'm
was a
saying.
shoot, and that's the kind of shit that Austin. He always goes back to that. Not even Austin himself. Like a lot of like JR and a lot of old timers go back to that specific moment as like example of.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I would have to rank Austin over Rock because I'm sure Rock practiced. If you smell what the Rock's cooking like 100 times before he decided to do it.
To bust it out, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I see
like,
what you're saying.
That's what he would practice shit.
I guess what Austin was a little more...
And Austin, he just did a classic, like, straight
Austin
off the
was
head.
a little more... You know what? Austin was a little more old school even in the way that he came up. He came up to the territory. When you really look at it, The Rock's the first real...
WWE guy, dude.
No, he's like
he's
first
the
developmental guy.
He's
like the first system
WWE
guy.
Yeah.
He's the first system guy, really. You know what I'm saying? For as much as we hate Roman, like The Rock is the original Roman. His family got him in the business, and don't get me wrong,
well,
the
motherfucker
people
didn't like Rock at the beginning.
The
remember?
motherfucker was uber talented and all this shit. And in all fairness, the reason we did hate The Rock. Everybody did hate Rocky Maivia, and then they turned him heel, and we loved him. So I mean, the stubbornness is why we hate Roman. We hate Roman because of the stubbornness that people turned him. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, back to the point. Austin came up more like, you know what I'm saying, grassroots and shit, like paying his dues. We came up through WCW, ECW, WWE, WWF, and so I don't know. I guess like Austin was a little more old school, so there was just a little more like freestyle, I guess, in him or not. I'm sure The Rock, like you said, he freestyled a bunch of shit, but it's just like it felt more gritty and more real out of Austin. It like I don't know, I don't know, but.
I'm sure Austin, it came with Austin over time, you know what I mean? And Rock just had it from the very beginning.
I mean, if he didn't rehearse them, those are some pretty good fucking, you know, some pretty good catchphrases that he had for just going off the cuff. But all right. Anyways, that's gonna pretty much wrap up our Stone Cold Steve Austin episode. I had a great time, dude. This was fun. It was. I know we missed a lot of stuff. I know there's some stuff that we glossed over. We obviously didn't touch on Austin getting hit by the car. That was huge. But I had fun, man, and I can't wait to do this next week. I'm already thinking big things. I think for episode 2, it's only fair that we follow this up with a bang bang.
That's a hint.
Right? That's a little...
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Should I not spoil it? It'll be a surprise, guys. But tune in next week. We have a big show planned. Please, guys, we really need the feedback. Whether it's positive, negative, we obviously would love it to be positive, but we appreciate all feedback. Yeah. We have some social medias for the sites, for this show. It's going to be on Instagram. We're at FlashBack Wrestling. On Twitter, we're FBW Podcast. So go ahead and give us a follow. And like I said,
give us ideas. You know, flood us with information that we might have missed about Stone Cold. You know, interesting facts like that. We're open to like hearing it out. So yeah, just give us a follow and give us ideas on what you want to hear from the podcast.
Yeah, because I mean, this is the first episode, guys. So I mean, it's gonna change a little bit from here. If you guys want it to be more informative, like I have notes on all this stuff. I did a bunch of articles already, so I mean we could go more informative. If you guys wanted to be a little more fun like it was today, where it's just a bunch of games and just a little bit more opinion, and then we can keep doing that. But you know, just give us some feedback and we can the show will grow from there. But we're really happy with the first episode. We're happy to be given this opportunity, and we're just gonna try to make the most of it. So I mean, I'm ready to have some fun with it. Hope you are too, Anthony. For WrestlingExaminer.com, for my brother Anthony, I'm Wesley Avendano, and we will catch you next week.
See you guys later.